Good morning. It's Wednesday, September 10th, 2014. This is Tech Talk Today, episode 56. My name is Chris, and taking a selfie right next to me is Angela. Hey, Ange.
Hi.
Hey, good morning to you.
Good morning.
How you feeling today? Are you good?
I'm a little tired,
Yeah.
but I'm okay.
Yesterday was a big day. It was a whitewash. It was a marathon episode of Tech Talk Today. So to keep Ange and I going, so that way if we stray a little bit, I've assembled a special strike team in our Mumble Room. Time-appropriate greetings, Mumble Room.
Good afternoon.
Hey
I'm
there.
trying to take a selfie as well.
Oh, jeez. Eric, you're not. It's cute when the lady does it, but all right. Well,
I'm joking.
let's start with the big story this morning. The thing that everybody's talking about. I've already gotten asked about it on Twitter, in the IRC. I'm surprised nobody in the Mumbles asked me yet. Happy Internet Slowdown Day. If you go to your favorite website, say like Etsy, Foursquare, Kickstarter, Reddit, and many others, you'll notice that they may be showing a constant loading symbol on the website, sort of like a spinning wheel of death.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of a protest called the Internet Slowdown Day, a push against the U.S. government's support for so-called Internet fast lanes. Now, as part of the Internet Slowdown Day protest, some websites will also prompt you to contact a lawmaker, like your local Congress critter, and put in a letter against the FCC's fast lane proposal. So the idea behind this came out of the realization that the concept of net neutrality is hard to explain to people. Like, what does that even mean? So the organizers, which we need to disclaim here, the organizers of this campaign are a lobbying group themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
take that into consideration. But they realized that net neutrality is tough to explain to people, so they wanted to organize an action that actually shows what's at stake to the user. The three most hated words on the internet right now are please wait loading. So if users unite in defense of net neutrality, we could be seeing those dreaded loading wheels a lot more, often on some of our favorite websites, to show monolistic companies, this is a quote from them, to decide which content gets to go to which people. So the idea here is make it real, put it in their face, show them what life would be like if we didn't have a net neutral internet, I guess.
A neutral internet.
Yeah. And
An open highway. What they're doing is they're like, hey, we could charge tolls. We could turn this into a business. We could make more money.
I'm worried.
It's horrible.
So here's what I worry about is I feel like what started as a genuine debate about how the internet is structured and who gets access to what has been co-opted by lobbying groups and by large ISPs who actually want... So what you have to keep in mind is the end goal. Like if there was a big response to this and the FCC's proposals was shot down, which we don't want internet fast lanes, but if all of this collapses, sort of the backup plan is to do something what they call common carrier status, where the government regulates and owns all of the internet lines, and then the companies right. See, this is the path we are going down. The problem is what the U.S. does not need is monopolies, and that is essentially what common carrier status would be. It would be legally backed monopolies by the U.S. government. What we need is fair competition in the marketplace. We need things like Google Fiber, Facebook drones. We need them to get in there and make these companies have to squirm a little bit. If you look in the areas where Google Fiber has come in all of those areas, the incumbent cable providers have all dramatically upped their speeds. All of a sudden, they had more speed to turn on for the end users once Google Fiber showed up.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Yep.
It didn't require common carrier status. It required competition. What we
Right.
need is the FCC to have the power to foster competition, not to make the internet common carrier status. And the problem is that's the end goal of the group that is backing this internet slowdown campaign. It has been co-opted by special interests. And because we're all a bunch of lemmings that don't want our dear internet hurt, we don't want our Netflix to ever be slow, we don't want our YouTube videos to buffer, we all just get up worked into a tizzy, and we all have to jump on board like a bunch of lemmings. And the thing is, we have to slow down and realize net neutrality is absolutely critical, but we have to make sure the intentions behind the people pushing the agenda forward are genuine. And that's just something to consider. And this is a tough one, because none of us want fast lanes. None of us want to have to worry about these kinds of things as people who are in independent content. And we could really screw companies like Jupiter Broadcasting over if there was things that were like fast lanes. So obviously that's not something we want, but we have to be really careful about how we go about it. And we have to be careful who we all become collectively convinced our savior is and go into it at least with some foresight. Speaking of going into things with a little bit of foresight, what do you think about this story here? And by the way, we have lots of links if you do want to get involved in the battle for the internet slowdown. We have links to the group In there we have a great Guardian piece on it too. So if you are curious and if you are riled up about this particular one, there is lots of additional reading in the show notes for you. Okay.
Does the Mumble Room have anything to say on that first article?
Oh yeah, those guys.
Oh man,
I got
so
greeted
many
with it
things.
this morning.
What was that?
One of the first websites I went to this morning, Tumblr. They're having me sign this stupid petition thing, and they wouldn't load the page unless you did it.
Well,
That's not cool.
I mean, I guess
I got an email from Google first thing this morning about it.
I haven't checked my emails.
see the thing is, this is hard because the companies that are behind this. The way this is shaping out, they would essentially be kind of in the clear. Anybody who's kind of an incumbent today is kind of stands to benefit from some of these legislation changes. So it's kind of self-serving for them to do this in a way.
A little bit.
You know, Chris, it was like you and I were discussing yesterday, is that Nancy Pelosi is one of these people that are on board trying to get ISPs to become common carriers.
Yeah.
And that right there sends me a red flag, because I don't trust anything that woman does, for one. And for another thing, you know, it's just like you were talking about competition. And also, I'm thinking this is going to be bad. Today's going to be bad for, like, my wife, who's going to turn on Netflix and see that loading thing and be like, WTF, Eric?
Right.
What's going on?
Come
Yeah.
over here.
All
Yeah.
the men of all the wives. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be an annoying day. So I would like to hear the audience's perspective on this. If you have a different take on this, you can go over to jupiterbroadcasting.com, click the contact link, or even better, go to techtalktoday.reddit.com.
I found it interesting that you read Etsy was one of them. And I guess I don't know how big Etsy is, but they're not a Google and they're not a Netflix, but it's comprised of a bunch of little people like us, you know?
Yeah, I think
a lot of smaller businesses.
so. Part of what it is you're kind of in the clear as long as you there is a provision in what they're working on where there's this allowance for lawful content. And the idea is that essentially if you're distributing lawful content and you're a company, you stand to benefit from this legislation that they want to push forward. The thing is if you don't distribute lawful content, then you don't stand to benefit. Now, the problem I have with that is what the hell is lawful content? Who the hell is determining what lawful content is and how are they doing it? What traffic are they analyzing to get there? Right. And is the definition fungible? Can lawful content, could unfiltered one day be considered unlawful content?
Right. And then freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but, you know, if you're an Etsy or you're a Tumblr or you're a Google, well, you're already under pressure to enforce lawful-only content on your services anyway. So this isn't really a change for you. That's the part I have a problem with this. The No Agenda show has done a really good job, but I can't specifically point you to a particular episode, but Adam Curry's gone through and read the legislation. He's done a really good job of doing the analysis. And the lawful content clause is something that really stands out to me as something I worry about. I don't know a lot about it, but it sounds extremely concerning.
IMIcon says anything you play that is owned by someone else is not lawful. That is not accurate.
Yeah, well, the problem is, like in the case of YouTube, you're guilty until proven innocent. So YouTube assumes you're guilty and they pull your whole video, as the faux show this week demonstrates.
But there's a fair use, you know.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
And other things that.
But
you're saying is it's not black and white like that.
But these automated systems, they act first, right? Like we never even had a chance to protest the faux show being pulled down. It just got pulled first.
Yeah.
That's the part that sucks, because then if you have revenue share, you lose out on revenue during that pulled time or views.
That's the DMCA for you.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about something that I don't really know how this would shake out if it actually went through, but there's quite a bit of smoke here. It looks like Microsoft is near a $2 billion acquisition of Mojang.
Don't.
Creators of Minecraft.
Don't do it.
Why would we want Mojang?
It was bad enough when Bucket got shut down.
So this has got to probably be one of the more popular games on Xbox Live. So here you go. Here's the details. Microsoft, the world's largest software maker, according to Bloomberg, if you didn't know, is in serious talks with 4-year-old Mojang, said people who asked not to be named but are close to the deal. The deal could be concluded as soon as this week or early next week, which is more likely. Bloomberg reports the deal is more likely to be wrapped up next week, but Microsoft is shooting for Friday. Microsoft believes it can make Minecraft more profitable by increasing its user base and doing more licensing agreements with toys and movies,
Good
merchandise
Lord,
like
no.
that. Perhaps of greatest interest to Minecraft fans is that Notch would stay with Mojang through the transition but then would leave after the acquisition was complete.
Wow. I just no. You know,
Say goodbye to the Linux version.
Microsoft is offering them straight up cash, not like a stock deal, which that's a good thing. And the way Microsoft would afford it is they would be using overseas cash that they're just sitting on top of,
that they're not paying taxes
and
on.
The way they would do the purchase, it would have favorable tax consequences for the software maker, who otherwise just has to sit on that money as it is. So essentially, they got two bill that if they use it to buy Mojang, they can do some fancy tax footwork and not pay very much tax on that. What do you think about this, Mumble Room? Microsoft buying Minecraft. Is Minecraft for Linux dead if that happens?
Yes.
No, it's just
Most
a tax
likely.
write-off.
Minecraft is a Java app. A Java app coming to Microsoft? Come on.
And not very well-written Java app if you look at the code. Either.
Well, wow.
It's a Java app now. They'll probably change that.
That's
The Xbox
exactly where
version
I
is
was going to
actually
go.
in C.
Oh, what? Really?
The
guess-
Xbox and Android versions are written in C++.
I guess I guess it can't be Java on the Xbox. Huh. So do you think Microsoft would jettison the Java version? They couldn't. I mean, think about all of the servers, all of the communities, all of the mods out there that would have to be discarded.
Thousands of mods.
All I know, oh man, that's a lot of rework. All I know is that I opened Skype for the first time since I think Microsoft bought it, and I'll tell you what, I did not like the changes.
No, it's not a good thing.
No.
So the thing is, okay, I agree that Microsoft probably could make some movies out of this as they could make a kids TV show out of this. They could make some action figures, not that there isn't already stuff, but they could go all in, and Microsoft is probably better equipped to make money from that standpoint. Where I think Microsoft is really unequipped is the whole have at it community aspect of Minecraft that is just so outside of Microsoft's nature, because it's just so uncontrolled. It's so free-wielding, whatever you want to do. And it just does not seem to be Microsoft's beat at all. They don't create games. They'll create games where there are channels for you to explore creativity, but they don't do something that fundamentally is you build whatever you want, however you want, and you do it on your own server with your own mods and your own rules. That's not Microsoft.
It's not.
That's a huge clash.
Could be good for the game, though, because they could actually get a proper modding API into Minecraft if they did it properly and got some actual programmers on it instead of a fat bearded guy.
Well, you know what? I've been playing all those mods from fat bearded guys.
But I don't want to have to start my server from scratch again.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of having to restart.
So Rikai asked the question, what would be the advantage to Mojang? Because they make a ton of money.
Yeah.
So is it maybe
It'd be fast cash? I mean,
is it maybe Notch wants to leave and they're worried that once Notch leaves, they lose most of their value? Maybe they're worried that it's like a celebrity value thing?
I don't know. Yeah, because it's exponentially increasing. It has a huge market. I don't think he sees the demise of Minecraft anytime soon.
He's talked about how the revenue from Minecraft can be used to reinvest into new experimental games and stuff like that. The way he's talked about it publicly, it sounds like he sees Mojang as a vehicle to try out new things. And I guess if you made $2 billion, you could just go start your own company again with just a core set of people that you liked and just go make your own games that way. I guess you don't have to stay at Mojang for it.
What if he made it to sell it off?
I don't get that sense, though.
I mean, there's plenty of companies that do that. They will start up just to get a bigger company to sell them off, quick cash, move on to the next thing.
Build and flip. I don't think that's it. I don't
feel either.
No.
I think Minecraft took off really well
maybe
2 or 3 years ago.
Maybe it's slowed down and we just
I don't know.
Maybe revenues are dropping.
So. I don't know.
Well, after the recent Alua Act that they've put out, Bucket got shut down. They're on a code freeze, and there's a lot of other license things that we've been having to agree to.
I know what it is. Maybe Notch is getting into Bitcoin. Because eBay sure is. eBay has announced that one of their subsidiaries, Braintree, is going all in on Bitcoin. This is actually kind of huge news for Bitcoin. Because this is going to be the way Braintree works, and they have a ton of customers. The way Braintree works is they're a payment processor for a lot of apps and websites and businesses. And now as part of that, say like, oh, I don't know, Uber will now be able to start accepting Bitcoins to pay for Uber rides. A lot of apps that are on mobile platforms are using Braintree. This is a big deal, and it was announced on Monday. It was kind of lost in the Apple news. According to Braintree CEO Bill Reddy, boy, how about that for a last name? Bill Reddy. That's a great last name. Who was speaking at San Francisco's TechCrunch Disrupt conference. He says they embrace Bitcoin as a new form of payment. Users won't see integration yet into eBay's marketplace or on PayPal, but partners of Braintree will start to roll it out like Airbnb and Uber in the next few months. That's not bad. That's not bad. Several other businesses are buzzing about this as well. So it looks like this could be the start of PayPal's integration with Bitcoin. Now, PayPal's CEO in the past has said that he's actually pretty positive on Bitcoin and could foresee a future where you buy Bitcoins through your PayPal account. So you fund your PayPal account and then you can purchase Bitcoins that way.
It's so weird that even though Bitcoin's kind of in the slump, it's that companies are still going forward with it. You know?
What
is it valued at today?
I went and looked at the price after this, and was like, so is Bitcoin going? It's slightly up today. It's $486.
Okay.
And look, they have you can't quite see it, but they have a loading page. They have a little loading thing on there.
Oh, I see it.
You see it down there
Adorable.
in the corner? Yeah, there you go. So $486 USD, according to Bitcoinity. All right, this last story is in here just for you, Ange. I went and got the story behind U2's special promo at the Apple keynote yesterday.
Okay.
So tell the folks, it made you feel a little dirty when you saw that, right?
Dirty?
You felt a little disgusted, puked a little in your mouth?
No.
Oh, what happened?
No, but it was really bad acting on U2's
It was so
part.
staged, right?
Yeah, I was like, wait, I don't know. It was so anticlimactic.
Yeah, Tim Cook brings U2 up on stage, and by the way, wink, wink, nod, nod, we have this album that's available all of a sudden. Now you can go get it. On top of everything else, at the end, U2 came out and announced that they were giving away 500 million copies of their 13th album, Songs of Innocence. Songs of Innocence appears automatically on a user's purchase page in the iTunes store, requiring customers to click on the download option. Did you try that?
Not for me yet.
Oh, okay. So here's a little bit of the details. Apple pre-purchased 500 million copies of the album.
No way. So
Yeah.
you still got paid, huh?
Yeah. So Apple, of course, they paid it at a bulk rate. Instead of the company, the money went to Universal and U2 for an undisclosed lump sum for all 500 million copies. The Songs of Innocence is sort of a new U2's trying to come back with this album. They're trying to show the world they're still good. And so a critical factor of that is getting buzz. So they teamed up with Apple. And part of the deal with Apple to distribute it via iTunes exclusively for a while, it was this, we get to go and do a big splash at the end of your keynote. And Apple's all in because they want to work with the music industry to keep iTunes going. So they signed up for that. And that's where you got it from. So now they'll run it, I believe, until October. iTunes has an exclusive on the album.
Yeah, well, so I tried to find it. It took a couple hours, which Tim Cook alluded to in the speech. But then, I did end up finding the album finally on iTunes. It was added, and it showed that I had purchased it. So I checked my purchase folder, wasn't there?
Yeah, to download it.
No, there was no download option.
Oh.
There was purchased, share, and something else, link to, whatever. And so then I checked the check for downloads on this Apple ID that might not be here, and it said my Apple ID was updated. So I don't know. I still don't have it.
Do you have any guesses as to the you just looked at it, didn't you?
No, I
the
didn't.
lump sum dollar amount that Apple paid?
Well, let's see. So maybe they paid $10 per album.
And they bought 500 million albums.
Yeah, so it's a lot.
It's a lot of iTunes users when you think about it. Don't look, you cheater.
Only 100 million?
You big stinky cheater. That's what
only 100
That's what
million?
one person familiar with the talk said. Yeah, because it
500 billion?
500 million albums.
500
Well, because
million.
Apple's also trading a ton of PR for it. Like it's like a marketing exchange deal.
Yeah. Huh.
So they're
Crazy.
going to have an exclusive until October 14th is what the deal is.
Wow.
Yeah. That is really kind of crazy that they did that at the end of a tech keynote.
Mm-hmm.
It just felt kind of, I don't know, unusual.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on the whole thing since you weren't on the show yesterday on the whole keynote thing? Any parting thoughts now that you've had a day to think about it?
It was really bad execution.
The stream was horrible.
Yeah. I was about to give up with having like several translations because I get really I don't.
Imagine how I felt.
I know.
It was driving me
I
crazy.
was trying to focus on the English, but
Yeah.
but the other languages
All
were
up and in our ears.
Yeah.
were loud enough that I was like, wait, what did you just
I
say?
wonder if people were able to make it through that part of the show because it got better. But if you're listening to the first part of yesterday's show, you'd have no idea.
Yeah. The other thing is, if you want to make the 4.7 inch or the 5.5 inch phone, fashion designers need to make women's pockets bigger. You just have to. Our pockets are a joke.
You get a purse.
No. You don't put your phone in your purse. It's going to get all scratched
Now
up.
that you got a
throw
watch, you
keys in
can.
there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. If you guys, stick your hand in your woman's pocket, okay?
Yeah, they are ridiculous.
See how far your hand goes in. Probably not even 2 knuckles.
I do kind of make fun of your pockets all the time.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. When the most recent phone came out, the 5, a little longer.
Yeah.
Like that is stretching my pocket to the maximum.
It's too much?
Like lengthwise.
Maximum
Yeah.
capacity.
And there's no way that a phone would fit in vertically into any woman pocket. Like it is so stupid. So that's my rant.
Mumble Room, any closing thoughts on yesterday's Apple shenanigans that you've marinated for a little bit?
Well, one thing we found out finally was what was in that building, and it was pretty much a showroom for all of the products that they had coming out that day. And what I thought was interesting is you go back 30 years ago with the 1984 introduction of the Mac thing, and the woman was in color, but everybody else was in black and white. Well, you go into that room, everything is black and white. The only thing in color is the watches, and it's just like, come on, guys, just splash some color in there, make it look nicer.
It's a sensory deprivation chamber.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we'll end it there. Go over to patreon.com/today if you like what we do on the Jupiter Broadcasting Network and you'd like to keep us going. That's a way to invest in all of the shows. Patreon.com/today. That is a monthly pledge. Not only do you become a supporter of the network, but from time to time on the higher levels, you get a little extra swag. And do we have any swag update we want to pass along to the folks?
Yep. August payments went through for both Tech Talk Today and Unfilter. There appears to be some kind of small lag, but I will be accommodating to anybody that does have a successful payment that for whatever reason hasn't shown up yet at the end of the...
So there's still a few stragglers potentially.
It appears that there are. Like,
Yeah.
It has so many people committed, but only...
Whoa, did that randomly just turn on full blast?
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, the point is, I will be accommodating. So I'm working on the custom swag now that I have the final list of people, and it is customized to where you're from.
Yeah, nice. That's nice.
Which is cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
So people can look forward to that. And the pledge level is once a month, and you can adjust to whatever you can afford. And every now and then, I've been pretty busy these last couple of weeks, but every now and then I jump on the Patreon page for Tech Talk Today and just put a little note back in there just for our patrons. I should do that soon. It's been a little while.
Yeah. Intruder Alert has an excellent point. Blame internet slowdown.
Boom.
Why didn't Patreon use that?
Patreon.com/today to support the Jupiter Broadcasting Network. Hey, okay, so we've been talking about the internet. We've been talking about slowdown. I'll show you some real internet slowdown. This is some OG slowdowns that Ange and I had to endure. I don't know about you youngsters out there, but those of you that might be in our age range might remember a commercial a little like this. Thanks for joining us today, everybody. See you tomorrow for Tech Talk Today. Don't forget, jblive.tv, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. JupiterBroadcasting.com/calendar for your time zone. TechTalkToday.reddit.com is where you can submit stories, comments, things like that. See you tomorrow.
Can you believe what's possible these days? Conversations through your computer, worlds of information one click away. All the things you find only on the world's most popular internet online service, now more affordable than ever. It's like living in the future. The future, now available on America Online.